Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Echo Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, I do have to say a huge thank you, as always, to Ryan Kirkwood. He went out in person and snapped these stunning high-res pics of Morbius. Now, if you are looking to pre-order Morbius, because of course, it's Morbin time, then he is available from toyswonderland.com. I'm so sorry, I had to. The link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button for more info on Justin's Collection Plus, the channel membership. Now, I, in my wildest dreams, never thought this was going to happen. Sony released the movie twice in theaters, and it flopped how many times? Oh yes, that's right, also twice. So Sony, with Morbius, are batting 0 for 2. But Hot Toys, it turns out, they don't care about any of that. They wanted to make Morbius, and that's exactly what they did. Now, what actually probably happened was that they'd already spent the money on prototyping and the license. They were too far down the road to just cancel this, so they thought, let's just release it. Now, he does come with a couple of hands with some long claws, and they look relatively decent. The display base says Michael Morbius, and then up top it, once again, says Morbius. Now, you do get a dynamic flight pole here, so you can pose him mid-flight or mid-gliding. It doesn't really make it abundantly clear in the movie what exactly is going on, but he definitely is floating through the air some way or another. Now, the figure does come with some relatively high-topped boots. They're suitably weathered, and the rest of the outfit appears to be all fabric. Now, jokes aside, I know the movie was one thing, but the figure can technically stand on his own. Yes, I do mean that literally, because the figure can stand, but if you wanted to pop this in your Spidey display as a generic Morbius and not have any tethers to the movie, then yes, this could absolutely work. Now, he does come with those god-awful smoke effects in the movie, but here in figure format, they look really good. They're cast in translucent purple, there's a bit of depth to them, they're a little bit lighter towards the edges, and they do appear to clip around his body at certain sections. Now, that was one of my biggest complaints in the movie, was they overused this smoke effect, especially at the end battle. I really couldn't tell what was going on, but as I said, in figure format they absolutely work. And seeing as though he doesn't come with a ton of other stuff, yeah, I'm glad they added them. Now, the outfit is all black, which is suitably vampire. It absolutely works. And once again, all fabric. I do like the bright pop of purple for the jacket lining, and it does appear to be fully wired along the front edge and around the back. So if you do have him pose mid-flight, you can have that jacket flapping in the wind. Now, speaking of things flapping in the wind, you do get a ton of bats. And I think they work really good here, don't get me wrong. But imagine, if you will, a Batman Begins figure holding the little bat summoning thing and having the bats surrounding him on his display base. That would be absolutely fantastic. In fact, you could technically use these bats with any Batman. And that's what I'm planning on doing when I pick up Morbius. He can have his purple effects, no problem. But those bats are absolutely being donated to Bruce Wayne. The bats are sculpted nicely, they actually look like they're flying, and they do appear to be sculpted as one piece, meaning you don't have a bunch of separate bats that you need to peg together and have multiple different clear flight poles. You just have one connected to the bat at the tail end of this big hunk, this big swarm, if you will. Now that means if you pose it right, you shouldn't really see that translucent flight pole if you tuck it around the back of Morbius. As I said, you do get quite a few of these. You get 2 clusters, and they do appear to be on the same kind of mechanism as Hot Toys used for the Mysterio's drone set. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check out that review. It kind of works by sliding onto the existing flight pole, and then you can position them over or underneath the regular waist clamp. I hope that makes sense. It's a relatively simple mechanism. Now that we're up top, you can see, number one, his talon-clawed fingers, and some more of his effect pieces, just like the ones down on his legs. I really like these. They are translucent. Once again, they hook onto his forearms, one for either side. They are a nice pop of colour on an otherwise very dark outfit. Now, I'm not too sure how the hands that he has on now differ from the ones we saw at the start of the video, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hot Toys add at least a couple more for the final product. Only coming with 2 sets of hands, for me, isn't really good enough. I would love, at the very least, some closed fists, because then you can actually have him punching people. If they do decide to make a Milo, you can pose them mid-battle, or you can pose him dancing. It's entirely up to you. Now, as for the head sculpt, I like it. It's creepy. It's some sort of vampire hybrid Jared Leto creature. One thing's certain though, it's definitely Morbin time. I know I've said it twice in the video. Once again, I couldn't help myself. I love the teeth, I love the red eyes, I love the wrinkles, the skin texture, and the fully sculpted hair. I will readily admit, this isn't going to be for everyone. In fact, it might not actually be for anyone. You don't always have to be a fan of the film to pick up the figure, and that's exactly what's going on here for me. I didn't love the movie. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the greatest thing I'd ever seen, but I will 100% be picking up this Morbius to display alongside Spidey, hopefully one day the Hot Toys Vulture, Venom, and Carnage, plus whoever else Hot Toys decide to make from the Sonyverse. Now, I wish the movie performed a little bit better, because now I reckon Hot Toys are going to be a lot more cautious. I reckon they bet big on this license before the movie actually dropped, because, you know, Venom 1 and 2, they were pretty well received. The second one, a little bit less so than the first, but they thought Morbius was a sure thing. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Therefore, going forward, I don't think Hot Toys are going to bet big before we actually see the movie. Just like we saw for Venom 1, it took them ages to announce the Venom figure. Going forward for Kraven and whatever else Sony is working on, that's probably more likely what's going to happen. Hot Toys will wait and see how the movie is received by critics and audience members, and then they'll make their decision on whether or not to pick up the license. 'Cause I don't know how well Morbius is actually going to sell. Do let me know what you think of him though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, if you are looking to pre-order him, he is available from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They have 12-month installment plans and a points-based reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.